a couple of these. This was a deadhead I found last year after season ended. This is my wife's first deer. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of stuff on it right now. I painted it on there to whiten the skull. Did the same thing on this. It's not working as well, being it was in the dirt and kind of soaked up some of the leaves and everything. But I'm using these two products, Bone Bright. They make a premium bone degreaser, premium bone whitener. So you boil your skull, not really boil, but kind of simmer it on about 160 degrees for about 4.5 hours. Get all the meat loosened up off of the skull, and then take it out, pressure wash it. It's gonna have a lot of grease in it and be really oily, so that's what the degreaser is for. And you do a couple of rounds of that, let it sit for about 8 hours each time you do it. And then you can go ahead and use the premium bone whitener, and you can do 2 or 3 coats of that. The last one I did, I only had to do 2 coats. It was a fresh boil though. This one hasn't been boiled since last season. So we're gonna go ahead. Also today, for this here, we are going to, I'm gonna go and show you how to do the antler stain to restore these antlers. You can see it's all faded. Everything's kind of pretty much white on the antlers. We're gonna go ahead and add that color back into it. So let's get started here. First of all, I'm gonna get gloves on. This stain, of course, you stain your hands. So you always want to wear your gloves. I've got my, got my towel back here. I'm gonna apply it with a towel. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of fold this towel like this so that I can get some kind of on the top corner of this folded cloth. Make sure to shake this up. As you can see, there's a lot of sludge in the bottom of that. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bunch of sludge. This is number 2 brown antler stain by No Blocks. You can get it at a bunch of different taxidermy supply places. Not too expensive. Works better than the normal stain that you get from like the store that's meant for wood. This is actually meant for antlers. Has a little bit more natural look than a regular wood stain would. And we're gonna go ahead and open this up, apply a little bit of this. You gotta do it coat by coat. It's basically, as you add it on there, it'll dry and it'll darken per coat that you put onto it. So we're gonna go ahead and put this first coat on. I'm gonna get it a little bit in here, and as you can see, it's pretty runny and it's pretty dark on that white cloth. But we are going to get plenty on there. Try not to spill too much out of here. Set that to the side. And then what you're gonna do is just start coating it like so. Try and get an even coat on it all the way down. Tips. Kind of smells like creosote. I don't know how many of you know what creosote is. Kind of like a railroad tie. I wonder if they actually use creosote, that kind of stain, for this. I'm not sure what all is in it. But you the difference. Once I get this coat on this one antler, I'll show you the difference between the two different antlers. Okay, so there's the two different antlers. There's the first coat on the one versus no coat of the stain on it. I'm probably gonna do a couple of coats on this one, on this rack, and then we'll do a couple more down here because a lot of times they're rubbing their antlers on the trees and the bark has sap in it and a natural wood stain in it that gets into this, and so it's a little bit darker down here by the brow tines, so, and down to the base of the antler, and so we're going to put a little bit more in there. So let me go ahead and do the other antler. And prior to doing all this, there was dirt and dust and stuff all over these antlers. I went ahead and took the wire brush, kind of cleaned out some of these areas around the antlers, and then used the blower and blew off all the dust. Little air nozzle on the air compressor. Works really well. To get in all these little cracks and crevices. Try not to get it on the actual white skull. I can always go ahead and put another coat of that whitener on there just to clear it up a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to go back over to this other one. Start putting a little bit more of a coat on here. Alright, you can start to see it getting a little bit more color to it. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Alright, we'll let that dry for a minute. I need to grab another rack that I have. Go ahead and do that one as well. Alright. To get this down, I'm going to need to cut that zip tie. Alright, here's a really old, well, not really old, but I was probably, I don't know, 7, 8 at the time my dad shot this. Smaller mule deer from out in Arizona. So I'm going to go ahead and, as you can see, it was hung up outside in Arizona. The sun just baked it. You can still see the tag, the sticky part that stayed dark. The antlers stayed darker right there where the sticker from the tag went around the antler right there from when he tagged it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well at the same time. Go ahead and swap these so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. This one's probably going to take quite a bit because it's so white. Oh well, it's pulling out pretty good color. I have done this as well. I don't know if you've seen my other video. I think I did a YouTube short on doing this to a elk rack of my uncle's. It had faded quite a bit, just sitting up in the barn in the elements, and so went ahead and did that as well. So this is just kind of something I do in the taxidermy shop. So people bring me deer. Now these are all my own that I'm just going to show you on this video. It's mostly just my own stuff. kind of get it down in those little burrs down in there. Helps out quite a bit. Having to press the rag down, kind of press it into it and kind of squeeze some of that stain out of the towel into these little sections in here. Okay, so there's kind of the first coat on this one. As you can see, it's just starting to put the color back into it. Alright, let's do the other side. Okay, coming along. I just find this right in there. Okay, first coat on there. I'm going to go ahead and go back to this one here, put another coat on it. Need a bigger table in here. Yeah, this was a pretty decent deer back where I hunt, and I don't know where it came from. Obviously it was from last year because the squirrels had not eaten it. As many of you know, they antlers around here in Tennessee don't last long in the woods because squirrels will just literally, they will eat the whole entire thing in a short amount of time. They will just gnaw right through all of this. Alright, there's a second coat on that one. and I think a second coat on the mule deer will suffice on that one. Mule deer don't tend to be terribly dark all the time. There are some that are very, very dark, depending on where they're at. This one was a desert one with around a lot of sage, and they don't really get too much dark on them there. Spill a little bit there. Okay. It's starting to look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and let these dry probably overnight, and in the morning I will check them and see if they're dry, and they should be pretty well dry. And I think that's about all I'm going to do on these two. Just add in a little bit of color like that, and so there's just a little bit of an instructional video on how to do antler stain on your whitened antlers, your faded ones, anything. And so there's there's a whitetail and here's a mule deer. So hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe for more content. And till next time, this is Resurrection Taxidermy, Levi Owens, and you guys have a blessed day.